Sup guys, it is LJ Vlogs here. This is Lauren, this is Jay, and today
we're reacting to three creepy true school lockdown stories by Mr. Nightmare.
Tongue twister, but before we get to this video, I want to shout out to everyone who has subscribed. If you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button. Also,
please don't forget to follow us on all our social media with the links down below.
And we'll say a massive thank you for 11,000 subscribers now. It just means so much to us guys. And yeah, let's get to this story. So Lauren, you hate these, don't you?
I do, because they scare me.
They do scare
and I have to
me
get public transport on my own tomorrow, so it's going to be scary.
Peak.
Let's go.
Something you guys have been requesting the hell out of for a long time. It took a lot of time, but I finally found 3 stories that take place during school lockdowns.
Reddington.
Listen, Lauren. This was going to happen to you.
It was a typical boring day in calculus, only it was Friday, 7th period, meaning the week was almost over and spring break would finally be upon us. So everybody was getting antsy in their seats, I could tell. We didn't have a test that day like a lot of my friends did with their other teachers.
You can tell it's
so our teacher in the
Yeah.
middle of class just decided to start playing games with us on Sporkle.com. He was a very laid-back teacher like that. As we were doing some brand logo quiz on Sporkle, I remember the exact
Pepsi
moment it
Code.
happened. Right after my friend answered a question, I remember the exact answer too, Adidas. The dean's voice came through the loudspeaker. He sounded panicked and frantic as he told all the teachers this was not a drill and to go into lockdown.
Whoa.
I actually got the chills and I got goosebumps on my arms as our usually laid-back teacher too seemed panicked as he ran to turn off the lights and ushered us to the back corner of the room.
It should creep me out.
We all sat in silence for about
Surely
2
that's
minutes.
the worst thing.
And
Yeah.
then the
Because of that
usual
corner of
buzzing
the
that
room.
came from a panel in the back of the room
Should we
ceased,
just leave?
indicating that the school must have cut all the power. We all looked at each other, realizing this must be serious. A few more minutes of waiting
It's an all
later,
from me.
we heard a man screaming at the top of his lungs coming down the
Was
hallway.
it school stories as well?
2 girls in the class
Like,
actually started crying, which made all of us even more scared. As the screaming got closer to the classroom, the lunatic-sounding man started banging on the lockers while screaming, "I'll kill all of you."
Oh.
It was at that moment that I started to fear for my life.
To be fair, at least he's with loads
My
of people.
teacher shushed
Yeah, I
us
guess,
as
yeah.
we all
Okay.
looked
Yeah.
at each other to see our peers' reactions. The
Not big,
banging
like
then
you were.
moved from the lockers to our classroom door,
No bitch.
and that's when one of the crying girls screamed no. The banging on the door only grew worse as the man started screaming, "Open up." 2 of the girls in the class were crying out loud now. It felt like an eternity that man was pounding at the door, but eventually he finally continued down the hallway, screaming
Oh,
like a
screaming so
mentally
trippy.
insane person
Yeah.
until we could not hear him anymore. I'd say 10 minutes later, though it felt like half an hour given the situation, the dean came back on the loudspeaker explaining the situation, which was surprising for him to do. He explained that some
What is going
apparently
on?
mentally unstable person entered the building and assaulted the woman sitting at the front desk, causing her
Whoa.
to flee the building screaming, and staff wasn't sure if the man was armed or not. Now this was before the
that.
school had cameras or could afford proper security,
That actually looks
so
like the
the
entrance
school
to our
was
school.
wide open to something like
Does
this
it?
happening.
Yeah.
The staff had done a sweep of all the hallways and classrooms and couldn't
school looks
find
well
him,
boring.
so the dean instructed
it's
the
about the sixth
teachers
form
to
part.
resume teaching, but to keep
Your
all the
sixth form
doors
is well
locked,
boring.
and to not let any students leave for any reasons. The most disturbing part, however, is that one of the janitors working the night shift found the man sleeping in one of the storage
Something
closets
was
near the
destroyed
back end of
over
the school, and according to rumors that were spread by my peers, sticking out of his pocket was a .44 Magnum.
Oh.
The janitor must have done something stupid to wake him up. For example, leaving the closet door open, because by the time a police officer could arrive on the scene, the man was gone.
What, he actually escaped?
Yes, as far as I know,
Fuck
to this
that.
day, has no
Imagine having to
idea
walk home
if
from
this
school
man was
like
ever
that.
found. But I
No,
like to think that
don't
right
even
now,
say that. I
he's
have to
being given
walk
the proper
tomorrow.
help that he needs.
No.
You only got to go down the forest bit. Oh, it's going to be okay.
I'm going the other way, man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
My school
They're
has
both
2
foresty.
lunch periods.
Yes.
First
That's
lunch
where one's
period
an
is
alleyway,
for
one's a
6th
forest.
graders and some 7th graders.
I'm an alleyway.
The second lunch period is for the other half of the 7th graders and all 8th graders. The lockdown happened in the beginning of October. The day the lockdown occurred, it was overcast and rainy. During the first lunch period, I heard 4 loud booms. I personally thought it was thunder, but the entire lunch crowd started screaming. I was thinking those kids were just serious pussies, but the campus security came in and started yelling at people to go into the multi-purpose room, and the kids who were in line buying lunch had to throw out their lunch and come inside. Me and some friends went inside the room along with a huge group of other kids. Everyone was curious as to what was happening. Our multi-purpose room is huge, and the back wall of the room is made of see-through glass.
It's gonna be a school shooting.
When me and my friends were rushed
possibly.
inside the campus, security was covering the glass with the curtains, and there were adults at every exit.
Oh no,
My
that's
friend
scary.
Eric was curious, as well as the rest of us, so he asked one of the adults what was going on. When he came back, he said, "You know how right in front of TMS there's those houses?" I replied, "Yeah." "There's this mentally disabled, crazy man that barricaded himself in front of his house, and he's threatening to commit suicide and kill the cops if he's evicted. He was
What?
walking around outside of school watching kids in a weird way," Eric told us. It turned out the man was also a registered
Might
sex
just be stuff
offender,
that happened to you
making
when you were
matters
at school.
worse.
Yeah, fuck
We were
that.
stuck in the multi-purpose room for a whole hour, taking up 2 periods. After the
Whole
dust
hour?
settled, we were escorted to our class.
To be fair, that's like one of those things when you're at school and you're like, oh, it's
I
actually
later
good.
found out that the
Yeah.
Like when you're at school, you're actually like, yeah.
Randy, who told me about the previous Halloween when she saw the same man at his window cutting his arm and writing in his own blood,
Cutting
"Don't
his
come
arm.
here or I'll kill you," on his window.
Fuck that.
Of course,
Fuck that.
people, including Brandy, assumed it was just for the holiday. But after this horrific incident, we knew this man was mental, and we're glad he never got near us.
Story 3. Dun dun dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
I'm 22 years old, fresh out of college, and I recently got a job at my old high school as a sort of computer intern in the school
Hate that.
basement.
Get him. Drop your old school.
The basement of the school is very messy and disorganized, but there is a small 3-person office that's actually very nice down there. It has 3 nice big desks, 2 mini fridges, a flat screen TV mounted on the wall, and oh so satisfying air conditioning, a luxury the students and teachers cannot enjoy in the school. And of course all the school servers and other computery stuff. I got the job because 3 of my old computer teachers flat out adored me. I could actually consider them as real friends, not just teacher figures. So they all helped tremendously
What,
in
friends as
landing me this
teachers?
job.
Pardon?
So what you
It's
did
been
what?
great.
Oh,
Until
that,
something
but,
that happened a few
yeah,
weeks
your
ago.
neck.
Oh.
My 2 coworkers that shared the office with me, Dave and Gary, weren't in the office at the time. They were upstairs working on papers or whatever.
Oh, so it's alone. No.
I was eating my sandwich
Just
during
screaming
my lunch
alone
break
in a
when
school.
I got a phone call from one of the women in the front office telling me the school was on lockdown and that somebody, possibly armed, had entered the school.
So you by yourself
There
as
wasn't
well?
much that I could do other than
I'd hide
turn off
under
the
the
lights
desk.
because, surprisingly,
Hide in the
as
cupboard.
nice as this little office was, it didn't have an actual door to it, just a big opening, and the door to the whole
What?
basement didn't even have a working lock. For my own safety, I did turn off all the lights in the office and my computer screen. I kept my phone on the desk, texting both Gary and Dave, but they wouldn't respond. I
Oh.
sat down there in the dark, playing games on my phone for like 20 minutes, waiting for the call from up front to tell me to resume working. I had no idea what was happening. I couldn't hear what was going on upstairs from down here.
They should tell
But I
them,
was not
though.
allowed to
Yeah.
make any calls until I was informed that the lockdown was over. Then the noisy basement door opened.
Fuck
The
that.
creaking
I'd get under the
across
desk.
the basement and into my office.
Ah.
I sat up from my seat, wondering if I should call out
I
Gary
hate
or
stories
Dave.
like this. It creeps me
I
out
was
so
eager to
bad.
get some info
We
from
always
them.
do them at night.
Someone then came running down the stairs, and their footsteps were approaching my office. I pushed away my chair and crawled under my desk.
Yeah.
Somebody entered the office, but did not turn on the lights. There was just silence.
No, fuck that.
I can't even describe the fear I was experiencing. I felt like if I made one sudden noise, I'd be a dead man. Suddenly, my phone dinged as I got a text message.
No.
I felt my entire world shrivel up and
Oh.
die at that one moment as
No.
I clenched my teeth in fear. Footsteps suddenly moved closer to me until I finally dove out from under the desk in capitulation, begging whoever it was not to kill me. And just then, someone grabbed my arm and pulled me up. It was some guy in a red plaid button-up, jeans, and a reddish-black cap. He told me, "It's okay, I'm just down here hiding with you." "What's going on up there?" I whispered to him. He kind of ignored my question and asked me if there's an exit down here. I told him, "Yeah, around that way." Before he could do anything else, I asked him, "Who are you?" There was a brief moment of silence. Before
No,
he started
never.
explaining he was coming in to pick up his son when a teacher told him to hide. After his explanation, I checked my phone and saw the text I received was from Dave. It said, "Dude, this is fucking crazy. Some guy with a gun shot Mr. Buckley. He's wearing a red shirt and a hat. Whatever you do, don't come upstairs." I was about to reread that text out loud to the man until I realized. I looked up and felt my stomach sink.
No.
The man seemed to catch on to my suspicious stare. Panicking, all I could think to do was to run for the upstairs. A gunshot echoed through the basement and I could hear the bullet ricochet off something metal in the darkness.
Fuck that.
But thank God the bullet missed me and I made it upstairs. Fortunately, police were waiting at all exits, including the basement exit, and caught the man the second he opened the door. More good news. Our teacher, Mr. Buckley, survived the gunshot. It was later determined that the man and Mr. Buckley had some beef for whatever reason, but
They had
that was
beef.
never revealed. All
High
I know
school
is that
beef.
Bad
Mr.
beef.
Buckley couldn't have done anything that would have warranted this kind of reaction. And I know that the sound of that gunshot will forever echo in my mind.
Oh, well. I love Mr. Nightmare stories, to be
Yeah.
fair. So everybody go check out Mr. Nightmare. His link will be in the description. What was the scariest story out of those, Lauren?
I don't know. I find every single one so scary. Like, what would you say
I think
was the scariest?
Probably the last one.
Yeah.
Because he was by himself. And how close he obviously came to like dying, I guess.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
fuck that.
I'm going to rate that an 8 out of 10.
I'm great at that night as well.
Anyways, guys, it has been LJ Vlogs. Don't forget to check out Mr. Nightmare down in the description below. He actually has some really good stories, like scary stories, all that
Yeah,
kind of
he's
thing.
amazing.
Also, we're doing a Q&A for 10k, so comment your questions below. And
Peace.